What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill. This is Matt. This is the world famous Tat Squatch. And today we are doing something pretty cool with that. So we have a new instrument cluster bezel. That's awesome, isn't it? Now, if you notice, it's a bit different because it's flat straight across the bottom. It doesn't have that dip down curve where the speedometer right there. And that's because we are installing this bezel, which with no power on or anything doesn't look too impressive. Just looks like the instrument cluster from the Bronco. However, it's actually the instrument cluster from a Raptor. And we're going to put that into that instrument cluster. It's not horrible, but it's not sexy. That one in there is very sexy. So what we got to do in order to get this out, though, that's a whole nother story. In order to get this bezel out, first you have to take the dashboard, this top piece of the dashboard off. You got to take the handles off. Got to take this out, take this off. We shouldn't have to remove the entire front piece here, but we do have to pull it out enough that we can get to some screws that are back here, and then take this side off, and then hopefully we have enough room. If we don't, then we have to take this piece completely off. I don't think we'll have to do that, but we'll see. Then once you've done all that, then you could take this bezel piece out, and this is what I was saying, how that this one's kind of curved down. The other one is flat across, and then put it back together and make sure it works. Let's let the fun begin. All right, so it's just these I believe 45s. Take these out, and then you can just pop those handles out. Now inside here, there's two smaller T15. This little end piece is kind of dangling there now. We gotta take this cover off, which getting these started are fun. They pop right out once you get it started, but it's actually getting it started that is the challenge.
90-minute install.
There. At least now we know where we can. It only takes 90 minutes to install once you have everything removed. Alright, so we take that off, and there's going to be a 7mm right there. Now next we got to pry this up, and then underneath there's 3 more little hidden screws. So there's a little clip right there I can see. There we go. I'll take that out. Probably clean that while it's out.
Yes.
I thought there was a second one in here, but it looks like it's just the one. And then pop these little boogers out.
So, and come on.
Alright, and then those should be 7mm as well, going across. Other speaker cover, and should be one more 7mm. If we did everything right, this you now have a dashless Bronco. Alright, so open up the glove compartment. There's two 7mm screws right here. We didn't need to take this one, just this one here, which attaches this. And then if you come around to the other side and pull this down, there's one more right there. So you take those off. There we go. So yeah, these top clips did not want to pop off of there, but now that they did. So yeah, we got these. There's 3 7mm and then one more 7mm there. And then your ignition stays in there, and this whole piece pops out. So now this should pop out of there. There we go. So I should be able to get to that there. So right back here is one 7mm bolt. If I use a swivel, I should be able to get to that without having to pull the rest of that off. And then there's that 7mm, there's 1, 2, and then there's one more back behind here. We got to pull this piece off. So this should just pop off of there now as one whole solid piece, and then we can take the bezel out. So that's got one screw there. Ouch. And that should pull off. So there's your 4th screw for the bezel. So yes, a lot of stuff has to come off to get this stuff out of here compared to some other vehicles. It's not hard, it's just a lot to go through to get over here. Same if you need to get back behind the radio. It's all the same, plus you gotta take that the rest of the way out. But not impossible. All you need is a 7mm, a couple of Torx bits, and some trim tools. Yes, that top flap there is part of the bezel. That comes all out as one piece. And then the cluster itself just got 4 more 7mm screws on it. So we'll go ahead and back those out. This just come on out. Got a couple connectors back here. And there's your Bronco gauge cluster. All right, so original gauge cluster. As you see, it's got the speedometer over there. This one here, well, it's completely digital all the way around. Backside, not a huge difference. It's got the same connector, one big connector there, small connector. And this, it is metal instead of plastic, but same connectors. And that one, little one's right here. And then this is the difference in the gauge cluster. Like I said, this one's got that curve to it, where this one is flat straight across the bottom, and it goes down to where that curve is and just goes straight across instead of coming back up at all. Main harness plugged right in, and this I don't know if that switch is positioned the same direction. Nope. So now, before that switch was turned to the side where this little pin was to the driver's side, now it's on top. Other than that, should be good to go. I really would like to power this thing up before we go any further. So let me connect this switch. All right, and you want to connect the battery. He's gonna go and went ahead and hooked this switch up. I'm gonna turn power on. So that screen did something. All right, I'm just going to turn accessory power on. No key detected.
Okay.
Fair enough. It's right there though.
There's a key detected.
Ooh, that's pretty. That thing always sounds like Coco Melon. Waiting for Coco Melon to start playing.
No.
Fuel low, level low, 0 miles to empty. I don't believe that to be true.
No, I just felt that.
So it works. Although the fuel thing, I'm gonna go ahead and can you go ahead and start? So we've got everything connected. It looks very pretty. However, there's some major issues. First issue is it shows that there is absolutely no fuel. Fuel's not registering, which is a hard thing to pass up. Right now, I am turning the goat mode knobs, and there's no indication of anything happening. Same with the hero switches, which they are connected. Oh, that time, so the light came on.
The light came on before, it just didn't do anything.
But there's no indication that there's anything locked. Traction control on or off, no idea. So we have no idea what goat mode, if any, that we're in. No idea if there's any fuel or not, and no idea if there's lockers on, if the sway bar's disconnected, anything like that. So it's very pretty, but unfortunately it's not functional. And well, I don't see how you could drive around. I don't think you could drive like this. I just plugged the old one back in to make sure fuel's working. Goat mode selection works. Yeah, it seems to be an issue with the cluster. We just wanted to double check to make sure, hey, we didn't screw anything else up, did we? But no, everything seems to be back to working functionally with this cluster. So unfortunately, that cluster is just not functional. Yes, so unfortunately, I think we are putting this back together for now. It was very pretty, but you know, can only get so far on your looks. All right, guys, so it has actually been a week since we were last filming. It was not working. the gauge was not working. It came on, it powered on, but like it was missing gauges. The fuel gauge didn't work. You couldn't tell which mode you were in or anything like that. It just didn't work. And it was last Sunday, so Panda Motor Works were closed. Nobody was available to talk to, so we put everything back together. They said Matt got a hold of the programmer, or got a hold of Panda Motor Works. They said make an appointment with the programmer, which he did. Sam, I believe was his name.
Yes. Super
helpful guy. He said, well, install it. It sounds like the programming didn't take. Go ahead and install it and then hook up to a computer, and I can remote in from the computer and connect everything. Make sure that it's programmed and everything's working correctly. So Matt showed up this morning. We took everything back apart. We got it hooked up, and Sam did his thing, and now we just got done putting everything back together again, and we don't have a key. But it does have the startup screen. There we go.
There it is.
So I got a fancy startup screen. Press. So yeah, now we got fuel, it shows turbo, temperatures, all that. Let me go ahead and start. Vehicle is on. Now you can change goat modes. Goes through some fancy automations. Let's go back. I believe sport mode is Matt's default that he normally drives in. And yeah, it definitely looks much cooler. We're going to go for a quick drive. Well, Matt's going to go for a quick drive. I'll jump in the passenger seat and make sure that everything's actually working. But so far it's looking a lot better than it did a week ago at this time. So put everything back together and hopefully it's good. If it's not good, programmer said give him a call back and we'll take a look. He'll take a look at it. So connect remotely again and he'll take care of it. So that's what we'll do. Go for a quick drive, make sure everything's working, and see how it goes from there. It appears to be functional. We went for a quick trip and the goat modes were not working. came back, got into forescan, disabled eco mode and mud rut mode, which are not supported, and then now it is working once again. Just did another quick drive in sport mode. Everything worked as it's supposed to. So I think there's one thing that's not working, which is the seatbelt indicators. So if you have some passenger in the back seat and they unbuckle their seatbelt, that notification's not coming up. It's not showing if you're buckled or unbuckled in any of the positions. So they're going to take a look at that and get back with us, or get back with Matt. But I think overall everything seems to be working. Cruise control worked, the adaptive cruise control, all the gauges, and then the blinker sounds very nice now. Or turn signal, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, why they don't all sound like that, I don't know. That sounds very nice compared to the stock.
You've got to pay big money to get nice turn signal sounds.
Yeah, very fancy. Matt, are you happy with it?
I am now.
After last week, probably not so much.
Well, it's been a long time coming. It's been 3 months, so.
Yes.
And so, I get parts are hard to come by, but
communication could be better.
Right. But yeah, it's pretty sexy.
That it is. That is definitely why they just didn't do that from the beginning. I don't know. Yeah, I thought even like, what was it? The Wild Track was supposed to have a digital gauge
All
cluster.
the Lux was apparently supposed to, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the same one that they were going to have or similar, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see when the next refresh comes out, if they do something different with the gauge cluster. But I think that looks $2,500 better than the original. Maybe half the price better.
Well, to be determined.
To be determined. But cool. Thanks Matt for letting us. And then the exit, when you turn it off, that's pretty awesome. But I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thanks Matt for coming out and letting us play with your gauge cluster there. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit the If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.